Hi, and welcome to Restaurant Management System developed in Python. This is a new improved restaurant management tutorial that I've put together for you guys. Okay, most of the stuff on it, they are quite easy for you guys to follow. Let me show you an example. You see this calculator here. One good thing about this calculator is we can add and just keep adding. Okay, that's one good thing about this calculator. You see that, guys? And let's multiply by 2, and there we go. Okay, now we can even backspace. You see the last character actually defaulted back to 0. Now let's have a good look at the restaurant management system itself. You click on reset, see, we can enter whatever we want in there. Let's assume we want to put in an order for fries. Enter how many fries you want. Do you want any hamburger? And you want to fill it. Okay, then so in total we have about 8 people there. Let's assume someone wants chicken as well. What about drinks? Okay, we can go for about 9. And there, so all you just need to do is click on total. Here, that's the cost, and that's the service charge, and we have the tax in there. When you add the tax and the subtotal together, you end up with this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight to a Python development environment where we put one of these together. So let's do that now, guys. Okay, let's start work with a new project. So I'm going to enter in there from Inter. Let's import the following there, and I will also import all of the above. Let's increase the font size so that you guys can see it properly. I'm going to make that about 14. I may have to reduce it as the tutorial progresses. Okay, that's good. So I'm now going to define the name of my app. Is going to be known as root tk. The k is a lowercase. Then I'm going to enter root. That is for the geometry. For this geometry, I'm going to make the width 1600 by 800, and I will make the orientation 0 by 0. Okay, close that. Now, one other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to declare like a global variable there. I will just call it space, and I will say space equals space. If you notice, I have a space in between as well. Now, the reason being, I want my title, this very title, I want it centered, and the title for it is going to be Restaurant Management System. So I'm going to say root dot title, and that is going to be 9. We'll multiply that by the space that I've allocated, and we then add my title. My title happens to be Restaurant Management System. Right. System. Okay, that's fine. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to create my frame. This is going to be known as cover frame, the frame that will cover every single component, including the other frames in between. Cover frame happens to be inside the tools, happens to be inside root. Then I'm going to assign a border of 10, and I'll get it padded by the y-axis. I'm going to make that equals to comma, and I will then relieve it. Let's make that rigid there. And this cover frame, I'm going to round it up here. Just say cover frame dot grid. There we go. There'll be nothing right inside. So that's my first frame in there. Now also create more other frames. Copy that and paste it right in here. I'm going to call this very frame cover main frame. Enter main frame here as well. And this one is going to be resident inside cover frame. There we go. And the changes, let's see, will there be any changes? Okay, I'm going to change the color. I'm just going to say BG here. BG, that stands for background color anyway. I'm going to make that cadet blue. There. So that's the color for that. And I've also rendered it up here. Then I'm going to need another frame. I'll call this very frame main frame. Paste that in there, delete all of this. Delete and delete. And main frame is going to be right inside cover frame. Cover main frame. There. And main frame we have as follows. The border will be 5. Pattern, that's fine. I'm going to get rid of this. Yeah, get rid of that. And I'm going to leave that the way it is. Okay. And before I go any further, let me just run things up here. Dots main loop, which means the system should loop. Okay, that is fine. Let me save this first. Save as. Okay, I'm going to save it right in here. I'm just going to call it new improve or new advanced restaurant management system. Let's say improve there. Right. Okay. Well, let me just get rid of this and this as well. If I run it, because there's no size on it, you guys won't be able to see it, but it's right there. There we go. That's it right there. I can always add width and height if I want, but I don't want to. Just to prove that to you guys, I'm going to enter a width there. Okay, now I'm also going to enter height in there. Let's make the height about 700. There we go. And I will just run it so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay. That's out. Okay, let's get this one in as well. Save. Run. There we go. That is it right there. Okay, but I don't need those in there for now. Okay, I may delete them or just leave it for now. There's some more frames that I need to create, but I'll just have to speed those up and show it to you guys. And right there, those are the other frame. I have a top frame that is a child of mainframe, and frame 2 is a child of mainframe as well, right underneath top frame. And inside top frame 2 I have F1, and F1 happens to be the parent of F1A, F1B, while F2 frame is a child of top frame 2. There. Like I said earlier on, I don't need these ones here. I'm just going to get rid of them. You can leave them if you want, but since I already have the width and height there, that's fine. So I'm going to run it. You guys see what I'm talking about. There we go. That's how it's looking now. Okay, you see up here? Let me enter a title in there. So I'm going to just call that LBL title, and LBL title equals label, and that very label is going to be a child of top frame. Tops, this very one. Paste, comma, and I will now define the font. I want to make that about 50. It's an area, and it's going to be 50, and let's make it bold. Close that. Right, and the text is going to be text. I mean, that text is going to be Restaurant Management System. Copy that and paste that right in there. Okay, this Restaurant Management System, I want the font, I need to be, I'm just going to make that white, equals white. There we go. Then I need border there, make that 10, and get it anchored west. Or I could just leave out the anchor. Let's see how that's going to look like first. And let's just run that up. That'll be a title. Dots. Grid is going to be inside rule 0, comma, and column equals 0 as well. I can even say, let me set the padding so that I can get it centered properly. That would be equal. So I want to make that 100. There we go. So let me run it and see how that's going to look like. Run. There we go. That's it. Right. It's dead centered, but the back color, I don't like that. I'm going to change the back color. Let's just say BG. That's it. I'm going to copy this and just maybe paste it somewhere here. There. Now run. Okay. Alright, that's fine. See here, that's where my calculator is going to be. In the case of the calculator, I already have it on YouTube. I'm just going to copy that and paste it in here. Okay, let me show you guys the calculator I'm talking about. So let's open it up. I think it was created 3 days ago or 2 days ago. That's the calculator. It's already on YouTube. So I'm just going to copy everything in there. That is it. So let's copy this. Close that. And now we delete a couple of stuff from it. Just grab it from here, take it right away down. Okay, copy it all, copy. And this calculator, like I said, is already on YouTube. So if you want to know how to create a calculator, the tutorial is there. And I will also include the link to the tutorial for you guys. Okay, on the description area. So that is the calculator. However, I'm going to delete these ones from this very calculator that I'm about to create now. Alright, that is it. So minimize that and let's paste it right underneath here. Oh, there's something I want, because I want this to be, it's going to be inside F2. Since my calculator is going to be inside F2, I have to change the frame. So let's press Ctrl N and open another page, paste that in there, Ctrl H. I'm going to grab this mainframe, copy, press Ctrl H, paste that in there, and just change this, enter F2 there, so that all the frames that is known as mainframe will be changed to F2. So replace all. That's it, done. I'm going to get rid of this. I don't need that, and I don't need any of these. There, select all, copy, and paste it right underneath here. There we go. So the calculator is right here now. That is it, guys. Yeah, it's right there. And there we go, guys. And this, I'm going to run it so that I show you guys what I don't need on the calculator run. I don't need a square, don't need that, don't need this, don't need this, but it does works. Okay, I don't need any of those. 1, 2, 3, 4 are not needed. Let's equal somewhere down there. Okay, let me get rid of this one that I don't need. Okay, so let's come back in here and let's look for those buttons right here. Those buttons, there they are. Delete. That is square, cosine, tangent, and sine. Get rid of them. And I also have their function up here. There we go. Get rid of those 4 functions. Okay, let's run it again and see. There. Okay, I'm now going to find a way and just move this up. Right, close that. Okay guys, underneath the calculator codes, I'm going to create some widget there. Okay, so that we can populate this area of it. So let's come down here, but first of all I'm going to declare some variables. So the first one I'm going to call it random or ran, and let's just say string there. And the next one I'm going to call it fries. Fries is going to be string as well. There we go. Let's go for burger. There. Just let's speed that up. Just declaration. And right there, those are all the variables that I intend to use. I'm going to be using this one for the combo box. Okay, and I've just initialized those variables with this. Okay, now underneath here, and I want to create my, underneath the variable, let me create the following widget. So the very first widget that I'm going to include that would be for the reference. So for the reference, let's copy this label there, copy this very one, and bring it right down here. So I'm just going to call that ref or reference. Ref, that will do. Okay. Call this ref as well, but in here I'm going to have to change that to reference. Right, and the color is going to be, okay, the text color, maybe I should leave that as white or maybe black, I don't know, but I'll make up my mind as I proceed anyway. And this very reference is going to be inside F1A. F1A, that's the name of the frame. Let's increase the size of this again. Right, F1A. Okay, those are my variables. F1A. Okay, now this pattern, I'm going to get rid of it for now, or maybe I should just say strictly equals west for now. If we have to modify, so be it. Alright, that's that taken care of. And let's take care of text box. So maybe that text box I can just call it ref as well, or reference. I don't want to get it mixed up. Reference text box equals entry widget. And the entry widget is going to be right inside here as well. Oh, look at this, that's too high. Let's change that to 16. And I'm going to change, I might as well just copy all of this anyway. Copy and paste it in here. Right. And for this reference, it's going to have the following text variable, and that text variable is right up here. Let me show it to you guys. That's the very first text variable, run. So which means I'm going to create some random generator there. Alright, so let's give that 10, and I'm going to make it BG. Yeah, that's fine. Right, what else do we need? I'm not going to justify this. If I have to, then I will come in here and paste that there. And it's going to be dot grid. Okay, this one, okay, let's copy all of this, paste it here. And if this one is column 1, this one will be column 1, and then this one is column 0. And let's get rid of this. Close this. Right. So I'm going to run that, and let's see how that's going to look like. Then we can just speed up the rest. That's it right there. Okay, so let's come in here, copy, and just speed it up. Paste, paste, and I'm going to modify that. Okay, I've decided to change, instead of label, let me get rid of this one because I'm going to change everything anyway. Let me show you this. See this text box, I've disabled it. You won't be able to enter anything. You will only be able to enter something in it if we use a checkbox. So I'm going to enter a checkbox in there. So let me run it and show it to you guys. There, you won't be able to enter anything in here. Or you can enter something in here. Maybe we should align this as well. Let's align the text to right. Let's see, align right. Text, align that right. There we go. Right. Now, this one, I'm going to get rid of it, or just change it instead of getting rid of it. So I'm going to call that CHK. And CHK here, HK. And the widget name, I'm going to change that to Checkbox. Right. So in here there's going to be a variable. Let's change that to text variable. We make that fries. And right here. There. Okay, so the other thing is, first of all, let me just delete all of this so that I can get it right properly. Delete everything here. There. Okay. There we enter variable. The variable, I'm going to call that variable 1. Variable 1 is right up here. That is it right there. So I'm now calling that variable here. And I'm going to say on. The value on is going to be, on value is going to be equals 1. While the off value, that will be equals 0. Okay. Now, I'm now going to get it in a grid, and the grid is going to be 1, row 1, column 0, and let's just get rid of all of this. Bring this here. I need to try and fit it on one line. Okay. Oh no. Alright then. Let's bring this down. Alright. Okay, let me arrange, just rearrange the whole lot. Bring this, cut this off. Okay. Maybe that will do for now. No, I want this here. I have to make up my mind. Okay, let's put this one here. Right. Paste. Yeah, I think I like it like this. Okay then, let's run this thing and see how that's gonna look like. Checkbox. Alright, that's my checkbox thing there. Okay, let's change this background as well. Or maybe leave it and get rid of this background. Okay, let's come in here. Reference. Press home. It's home. So I can see. Reference background. Get rid of this. Okay. Now that one is set. So I can now copy this very one and just use it for the others. Paste and paste. Let's speed that up. Okay, this is how it looks now. There. Well, let me get rid of this as well. That's the front one. And reference. Okay, this is how it's looking now. I now have all my checkbox in place. It's not finished yet, but for the very first part of it, there we go. Right, let's add another one here. Exactly the same thing. So I'm going to just copy this and speed up the whole process. Okay, the second frame, that is called frame 1 or F1A, is taken care of as well. So have a good look at the lines of codes, and you can see where I disable the text widget, or entering widget is called. Alright, I really don't need this. Okay, so if I need it, I'll insert it anyway. There we go. All we then need to do is to add buttons, but before that, before we add the buttons underneath here, let me run it and you see. You can see the calculator properly now. It's taking shape. Right, let's add button underneath here and just carry out one or two tidying up in that. Okay, the very first button, so I'm going to call that BTN total equals button, and BTN total is going to be resident inside F1B, comma, and let's get it padded. The x-axis, I'm going to make that about 16, comma, y-axis, make that maybe 8, border equals 2, and the font on it, I'm going to make that white. Now let's copy this font, copy that. Font color here is white, that's the font, and I'm going to make the size about 17, and the width, let's say we enter 17 for that as well. Okay, text for this, that will be total, comma, background color, I'm going to make that cadet blue, comma, and close that dot. That's a grid. Row equals 0 because it's in a frame of its own anyway, and column equals 0 as well. Yeah, let's make that 0 for now. If there's any changes to be made, we can always deal with that. Let's get it padded to the by 5 and another X padding here, make that 5 as well. Okay, I'm going to save this and run it and see how that looks like. There we go. That's fine. Okay, you can see that's actually flushed against every single frame. Apart from this, I'm going to have to increase the padding there, the x-axis padding here. Right, close it. Just copy this now. There, and this will be 1. This will be 2. And the name for this, we call it exit. Call this reset. There we go, and that's it. Let's go up here and make the title right here. That's 100. Let's add about maybe 5 or 6 to that. Let's see. Alright, so I'm almost there here. So those are the 3 buttons that I need to change the names of this. Okay, let's maybe make that 110 and see. 110. Run. Okay, that's 110. Maybe add 2 more. 112. Run. Alright. Okay, let's change the name of these buttons. Come right down. And this is exit, so this button will be called exit. The next one is reset. Copy, paste. Run. Very nice. Oh, look at that. Get rid of that. Run it again. Alright guys, that's nice. So I'm going to call it the end of the first part of this tutorial, and I'll see you guys shortly. Bye for now.